there last spring, and I was here last summer as well. I was tormented by a crow that kept landing on the roof and making noise at 4 a.m. and 4:30 when the sun came up. And anyway, I'm not the crow thing. Don't get me started on the crow. It's the bane of my life, honestly. This crow, it drove me away. It literally drove me away from the morning. I couldn't deal with it. Literally every morning, somewhere between, I think it was about 4:30, it would land on the roof, start marching up and down. This crow was marching up and down the roof. And it's surprising the amount of noise it makes. You genuinely think a bird, but it's surprising the noise that they make. This thing's landing on the roof and I'm like, 4:30. And on the first day, the first morning it did it, it woke me up. And I might just whisper because we're going past this boat. This is obviously a very private individual or couple. Who knows? Yeah, they're lovely. And do you know what's a good example, actually, of that? Is crows. They are absolutely... I mean, we don't think it's so bad with a hawk or a kestrel because it seems like it's a noble bird, the thing that it hovers. And then it stoops. See, I know the word, it stoops. It doesn't dive, it stoops. Anyway, yeah, but we sort of don't mind them. We're like, it's the noble hawk catching his prey, and then ripping it limb from limb. You know what I mean? Painful, horrible. At least I guess it's fairly quick. But we got a downer on crows doing the same thing. And I used to watch like bird video, crow video. I want crow videos. I went through a short phase one evening where YouTube was recommending videos of birds, and it turned to crows, and I was like, oh yeah, clever crow, look at that. It can, like the intelligence is equivalent to a 2-year-old child. There's some, they're super smart. You know what I mean? They're super smart birds. They learn really fast. It must have been part of their evolution to be able to learn new stuff or die. The ones that could learn and adapt survived, and that's the way they've gone, the way humans have gone in a way, because we, hopeless little, useless things. You couldn't rip anything to shreds with these except a McDonald's Big Muffin or a Muck Muffin. And but then YouTube showed me this thing about someone shooting crows, and my first reaction was naturally, what do you want to be shooting crows for? What have they ever done to you? And it turns out the guy showed some videos of lambs that had been attacked by crows, and I believe the modus operandi for the crow is when the mother sheep, the ewe, is giving birth, what happens is she's obviously totally oblivious to, because she gave birth to several, so she's concentrating on giving birth. The newly born lambs are completely vulnerable, and sometimes even on the way out of the womb area region, the crows attack, and apparently the delicacy they love most is the eyes. So there's loads of lambs. So then all of a sudden I went from like, crows are cute, clever, funny, interesting, blah blah blah. I went, oh no, now I hate crows. So I was a victim of propaganda in a way. Anti-crow propaganda. But that was my frame of mind when this crow started tormenting me, marching up and down the roof at 4:30 a.m. So, and then it started pecking on the steel mushroom vents. So you did doof 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 doof, ding 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 ding, doof 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 doof, ding ding. Like, and this went on, and I thought it's going to stop. Didn't stop. I'm going to get back to sleep. Couldn't get back to sleep. You literally, you're too tired to just get up and do something. You can't muster I did muster the thing, because you start waking up then. So mustered the energy, and I sort of stormed out. And obviously, it must have heard the door opening here. And this is a narrow door, and I'm not a narrow person, so it takes you can't exit in a hurry, is what I'm saying. And I didn't, and so the crow was gone. Saw him land, saw him fluttering down 50 yards away, whatever it was, landing on the towpath, basically laughing at me the whole time. And so I was like, well, I'm not having this, you know. This is not on. And anyway, I thought he'd gone. I thought, well, that showed him, didn't it? That was my first thought. That showed him. Little did I know. I, you know, got back inside, shut the door, went back into bed, tried to get to sleep. And it must have been 5-10 minutes later. It probably wasn't even 5. Same thing again. Duff, 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 duff. Walking down the roof, and then ding, ding, ding on the steel things. And do you know what? Right? Why is a crow pecking at a steel mushroom? You know what I mean? There is a part of you that harbours all these dark thoughts at 4 a.m. and 4:30 of it's doing it to wind me up. This bird is smart enough to wind me up. Anyway, you know, the rational part of me knows that wasn't the case, but either way, I was pretty pissed off. So this time I thought, okay, I need to launch a projectile of some sort. Oh no, I'll bang on the window. I'll just bang the door. The second time, I just banged the door banged, bird flew. I didn't even look, bird flew off. Didn't hear anything. 5 minutes later, lands on the roof again, duff, 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 and I was like, oh no. So it's getting on, it's approaching 5 a.m. and this bird won't give up, it's marching up and down the roof. So I thought, I'll heave something at it, I'll throw something at it. Now, I'm a terrible shot. You know, surprise, surprise, you know. But I thought, I don't need to actually hit it. And in fact, I don't really want to hit it because I don't want to hurt it. I just want to discourage it. And maybe throwing a projectile in close to it will be enough, you know, deterrent. And it'll just think, no, I'll go and march on some other bugger's roof. This is a bit too dangerous, this. But so clumsily, you can't get out of that door fast. You just can't do it. So I tried to open it quietly. And then quietly, gingerly sort of step up. There's like 2 steps. Then you've got to turn 180 and then spot the thing. And so it all just took too long to execute. And the bird was 30 yards away in flight mode, so I was never going to hit it. But I, you know, I thought maybe that'll, if it sees, which they're very, you know, their eyesight's brilliant, they can see. So it would have realised a projectile was on its way. Maybe that's done it. No, did it buggery. 5 minutes later, back on the roof, duff, 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 duff. I was like, I can't, you know. Anyway, after the third night of being woken up at 4:30 a.m. and being unable to do anything about it, I gave up and moved. I just couldn't. I don't know when this was. I feel like it might have been, you know, yeah, it was that first time I was there, May or June. So maybe he was showing off for the ladies or something. I don't know. There was no food. There was nothing. Maybe you could smell that. I don't know. Who knows the workings of a crow's mind? Do you know what I mean? But I could have killed the thing. Well, I couldn't have killed it. I mean, I wanted to injure it. I didn't want to injure it because injury is death to these things. A serious injury is death. They haven't got hospitals, mind you, neither have we these days. So, yeah, I moved. I got into this thing of trying to find things that I could throw to put the crow off, because I thought it'll learn, you know, it'll think the projectiles come out of this thing, I'm not going to mess with this. But I wasn't a good enough shot to even scare it. How pathetic is that?